We're live, pal. What could go wrong? We're live, pal. Welcome, everybody, to episode 361 of the Hoots podcast on this Thursday, May 18, 2023. Hope you morose MFers are having a good day so far, or a good week, more pertinent to say. It's yours truly, the nefarious brother, Adam, a.k.a. Joshie Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter if you like, at the Hoots Podcast. I'm also joined this week by the good brother, the master of all hot takes, the one and only Sam Pioppo. What's up, my man?
Oh, man, same old fun stuff going on around here. Still out with this finger nonsense, so glad to be joining you. It gives me something to do on a lovely Thursday afternoon before I got to go out and do more friggin' yard work, man.
8 yard work the worst.
I'm telling you, man, it's brutal. But it got to be done, you know. I don't want any of my neighbors complaining, and I honestly don't want my yard looking like crap. So got to do it.
Hey, man, I don't blame you there. We got a fun show in store for you guys today. Hope you guys, like I said, are in good spirits. We're gonna be discussing a lot of different things, and it's kind of interesting when you have, like, let's say, a week before pay-per-view. Sometimes as a content creator, I know this from the 6+ years of doing this show, I kind of realized that sometimes even for me, so much goes on with professional wrestling, like, even when you least expect it, even when you think things are going stagnant. Like, for example, okay, I know Night of Champions is a week from this Saturday, right? But even for me, even doing this, like, I wasn't really sure what the theme of our episode was going to be today. There's probably, like, just shoot the shit, talk about random stuff or whatever. And then, lo and behold, my favorite wrestler at a pop off on Instagram stories and give us another story to talk about here. The charm and curse of professional wrestling. You don't know what could happen, when it happens, and usually what could go wrong will go wrong.
You know what? That's the beautiful thing about CM Punk. Whenever you think everything's kind of dying down, boom! CM Punk has another beautiful, juicy conversation to talk about.
It's unbelievable, man. It really is. It's a sight to behold. For those who are watching us on YouTube, please do us a favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Also, for people who check out the audio version of the podcast, I do recommend you guys checking it out. I have some funny clips that I add that you're going to hear in between the segments this week. So make sure to check it out on Spotify. We're 80 specific new Spotify listeners away from reaching ambassador ads on Anchor. So if you guys could help us out morally on Spotify, and that would really mean a lot to us, and we help expand and reach the show. But like we said, thank you for hanging out with us. Even if this is your first time listening or watching the Hoots podcast, we just want you to feel like we're sitting next to you, shooting this shit about professional wrestling. Me and Sam do not think that we're above you. We're just here to have some fun, talk some shit, throw some laughs, and get you guys ready for a weekend. Just trying to make you guys day better. But we have a lot to discuss, and we have a big batch of questions to answer. One of our staple segments here on the podcast at Hoots. It's the Back Porch Q&A session. That's right. It's your time to ask yours truly or Brother Sam here, what's on your mind? Nothing's off limits. We can talk about anything in the world of life, wrestling, whatever floats your boat. And as we usually do, let's throw up the X, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Throw up the X really quick for the good brother Chris Saletta at Twitter, at XTeamZaletta24X on Twitter. One of our frequent contributors. For the podcast. He says here, what up, Ooses? Here's some questions for you and the good brother Sam this week. How do you guys feel about the NIL for college athletes? That's interesting because I don't even remember and asked that here. I'll be brief about this because I'm not really as in tune with college sports like you are and everybody else does. Like, my deal is that I don't think there's one way or another that's going to make people happy, whether it's a discussion about boosters or this NIL deal. I don't think there's really anything in college sports that's really going to make people happy. Either the athletes are making too much or they're not making enough, or the college organizations, the schools are screwing over the athletes. It's a lose-lose situation, in my opinion. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna begrudge a young kid because God knows how much these stupid schools charge people to attend schools for stuff that they basically did in elementary school and high school. For example, for myself, I um, originally I was supposed to go to Berklee College of Music in Boston. I got accepted. It's one of the big music schools in the U.S. I was gonna go there. I couldn't afford it at the time. Shit was hitting the fan at home, and it just didn't work out, right? So I was originally gonna stay here and go to Columbia College instead, right? I go for one semester, and these guys are like, "Hey, you're not gonna be allowed to take any music classes," which is the degree I was going for, and they wanted me to pay $60,000 a semester before I got into my own music classes. So think about it. I'm not going to begrudge a young athlete if they're going to get paid with the bullshit and the student loans and everything that comes with it. But at the same time, you got these complaints about boosters and banning and all this stuff. It's just a clusterfuck for me, to be honest with you. So it doesn't affect me one way or another. But I just look at the whole deal, whether it's NIL or boosters helping out programs, it's a lose-lose situation, I guess.
So, I mean, it's definitely a lose-lose situation, Josh. And like you said, it's 100% a clusterfuck. But I actually am not a huge fan just because of this. So the kids that are getting these big NIL deals are, the star players that are probably getting a full ride to college anyway. While in reality, you got these kids who are, walking on or paying their way who aren't getting any NIL love from anybody. They're paying their way through college. They have no full ride. So, I mean, these kids aren't making money, and they're throwing money just to go to college. So I don't think it's necessarily fair. But then again, I mean, like you said, I don't hate that these kids are making money because, I mean, let's be honest, money makes the world go around. So it's definitely a clusterfuck, but it's not going to go away. It's a brand new thing, and it's starting to really take off. And it sucks for the lower level players that aren't going to be getting these big NIL deals, but it seems like it's the way it's going to be right now. Good question, though. Good question, yes. Chris.
We got an instant question here on the YouTube channel here from our guy Rob Barton. He says, Apostle talks to the Blackhawks and Oilers completing a trade that would see the Hawks acquire Kailer Yamamoto and Jack Campbell for draft picks. Thoughts on that?
You know what? I like Kailer Yamamoto. He's a good player. Jack Campbell didn't necessarily work out with the Oilers this year. But, I mean, let's face it, the Hawks need a goalie if they're going to, take that next step on the rebuilding list. Jack Campbell has been known to be pretty good, but then again, he was with the Maple Leafs when he was playing that well, and the Maple Leafs are obviously a really good hockey team. So I'm open to it. I definitely like the idea of Yamamoto as a Hawk, but I'm not sure if Jack Campbell's the guy to lead the Hawks into the future. Good question, though.
What's their cap space looking at right now?
The Hawks have plenty of money to spend. A lot of money. I don't know the exact number, but they're near the top of the list when it comes to cap space, that's for sure.
We'll have to see if Kyle Davidson is either smart, frugal, or stupid. You never know.
We're going to learn a lot this offseason, that's for sure.
That's a good question, Rob. Thank you for asking that. Let's go back to Chris here. He says, thoughts on Ali and Gunther for the Night of Champions? Boy, think about this about a year and a half ago. Like, oh my God, they're going to bury Walter because they changed his name. How stupid that discussion was.
It's such a common thing to have people cry burial too. It's way too common in the internet wrestling community.
I'm not surprised. It's the matchup. You want to get Ali a spotlight match on these Saudi Arabia pay-per-views and stuff like that. I don't have an issue with that. Chicago guy. I was surprised he won the Battle Royal on Monday, and I thought that was cool. But, as far as the match, yeah, can you say it's predictable? Okay, I'd say 90% of matches, regardless of promotion, most of the time or not are predictable. So I think it's fine match pairing and good for Ali. At least for now, we don't have to hear him go complain to Sean Ross Sapp. So I guess we're good on that end.
Oh no! Don't shit on my guy Ali. I'm a big Ali guy. I didn't like how he went about his business. I thought he was kind of a little bit of a pansy for that. But let's be frank. He's a good wrestler. I'm glad he's like recommitted to WWE. He's taking what they give him and he's trying to do the best he can with it. And frankly, I think this is gonna be a really good match. Gunther, obviously, that guy's a stud. Ali works well with damn near anybody, and it could be one of those sleeper matches on the show that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing.
Process here. I believe there's a heavy chance Gunther walks out of Mania 40 with the World Heavyweight title. Hey, don't be surprised if Gunther may win the Royal Rumble next year. You never know.
All in for that. All in. Ha! Get it?
Yes. The good all in. Remember that. It's the good all in. All right, let's see what Chris here has next. Does Judgment Day need a new member? If so, who? We did get a possible hit on Monday. I mean, the group is fine as it is. I know there's been fancy booking and thoughts of maybe having Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough, basically that's the new guy from NXT that I saw from NXT UK. I think he'd be a good fit in that group, just like Ilya Dragunov would be a good fit in Imperium.
Wait, where was the hint? I didn't see the hint.
There was a backstage where Kathy, I believe, was catching up to JD as he was leaving at the arena. You know how he beat the shit out of Ziggler after he got eliminated, right? So they're walking up that parking lot area, and it's a back shot of Finn Balor lurking in the background as the interview was going on.
Oh, you know what? I did see that. Okay. I didn't put two and two together. I know right. Finn trained Devlin back in the day, but I just thought that might have been why. I didn't even think of the Judgment Day possibility.
Well, this is the charm about this particular segment here, too, because you know my deal, Sam, that I've always been about nuance and context and stuff like that. And when it comes to doing shows like this, since we don't break down every single segment of every show, if something like this comes up, we can mention it here, and then I don't forget about it when we do the WWE segment. So I'm glad Chris, you asked that question, because that went completely over my head if it wasn't brought up. Who will be the best quarterback out of this 2023 draft class? Will Levis, just to be petty. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Right, man. You might be right. Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd probably go C.J. Stroud, just because he has. I mean, he has all the what do you call it? All the tactics to be what a star quarterback. Obviously, he has the size, which we've learned just from that one Panthers training camp video. That holy crap, that dude looks like he's about 10 years old under center. Good Lord.
He looks like Caillou.
Oh, my God.
Under center.
I mean, I've seen small quarterbacks, but that dude is freaking tiny, dude. I didn't realize it when he was at Alabama either, but he is small.
Yeah, it's a way to be seen type of scenario, Chris, but that's a good question.
Yes.
Thoughts on the Washington's new ownership in the NFL finally? Well, it's about time. I think the next person that needs to sell a team is the Chicago White Sox and just Jerry Reinsdorf in general, regardless of the league he owns. But good for Washington fans. I mean, we all know that their stadium's a shithole. Okay, that's already established. They can't come up with an interesting name for their football team. So hopefully we have some brighter days. What's that song from Bill Withers? A lovely day.
Come on, John. You're not a fan of the Washington Commies?
No shot. No shot. Take that. What's your thoughts on it, Sim?
I don't really know much about the new ownership, so I mean it's going to be another wait and see kind of thing. Hopefully, I mean you can't be much worse than Dan Snyder, so hopefully, I mean that's a good fan base over there. They deserve a lot better, so hopefully they can figure it out and get things moving over there in Washington. Maybe get a new name too.
Yeah, figure it out.
Figure it
out. Next question. Prediction on Joe Burrow's upcoming extension. Does he break $300 million? Probably. I don't know if Cincinnati has that much money. I'm not trying to be negative or whatever, but I just don't know if the Bengals are that rich with money and the owner's actually going to pony up and pay somebody. They didn't pay Carson Palmer. We'll see if hell they barely have their own training facility. So think about this: $300 million. This would be the biggest money they probably ever spent in their franchise.
Hey, you know what? I don't know if he gets it. I mean, he probably deserves it, but I feel like Burrow's kind of one of the guys that would take a hometown discount. You know, I feel like he does it for the love of the game, not so much the money. Obviously, he wants the money. Who doesn't? But I feel like if they asked him to take a little less, he probably would. But, I mean, that's just a guess. I don't know that for sure, obviously.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. This is what I don't want. Bengals, either you pay this guy or keep this dude far, far away from that shithole known as Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Josh, why would you even put that into the atmosphere? Shame on you. I'm calling frickin' Brother Carter, and you're getting put on the list immediately.
Oh, that's beautiful. I deserve to be on the list for that.
Yes,
I do.
You deserve that.
All right. Any NFL/NBA players you wish careers didn't get cut short due to injuries? Yeah, Derrick Rose.
Wait, was it NBA or was it
NFL and NBA?
Oh, well, I'll say Johnny Knox.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Johnny Knox. I don't know if he would have been all that amazing, but he was good for when we had him. So that was a nasty injury too. Also,
shout out to Kyle Long as well.
Big fan of Kyle Long. Hell yeah.
I don't know what Kevin White would have become, but
yeah, that was just a sad story all around.
Yeah. Kind of like Jay Williams, the guy the Bulls got in 2002, and got in a fortunate motorcycle accident. Now he's the analyst for the Worldwide Leader. By the way, shout out to Pat McAfee and his crew. They're going to be joining the ESPN lineup in this fall. So congratulations to Pat and the crew. Well deserved.
Pat's the man. I don't know. Everyone's kind of crying about, he sold out to ESPN. Pat's not going to let it change, I don't think. His show's going to be just the same, and it's still going to be really good. Obviously, there's going to be less F-bombs in the show because you're on national television, but it's good. It's good for Pat. He's expanding the brand. He's making money, and that guy, he's a smart guy, man. He really is.
Hey, there won't be a shortage of this. What?
What?
All right, next question. Josh, where would you like to see the Von Erichs land? Oh man, these are the son of Kevin and Kevin Von Erich from MLW. They're a good team. I enjoyed the work from the time I covered their matches over the years. How about NXT? Why not?
I didn't even know they existed until I watched the Dark Side of the Ring Von Erichs episode, and I realized that the last Von Erich has some kids in the business, and it's cool to see that they've been making their way up the ladder.
My old man introduced me to wrestling. He was a big Von Erich fan back in the day.
Yeah, there were a lot of them back then.
World Class Championship Wrestling, right?
Yes, sir.
The only good thing to come out of Texas. All right, let's go to the next question. Sam, who you like to see from AEW to jump to WWE over the next year or so?
Well, I have two names. One of them's probably obvious to everyone. I want MJF in WWE, and the second one, I want Ricky Stark in WWE. two great talents. I'm not sure they'll ever really get to where they need to be in AEW. That's just me. A lot of people think otherwise. A lot of people think the opposite, actually. If they were to jump to WWE, they'd be, they wouldn't get to where they want to be. But I think those guys are major stars ahead, and those would be my picks. What about you, Josh?
Jade Cargill.
Not a fan.
You would like her more in WWE. You would.
Could.
I would say this. I agree with you with MJF. That's a pretty obvious one. Ricky Starks. Bring back Malachi Black.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bring back Miro.
Yeah.
I don't care about that press release they released for that knockoff WCW Nitro looking show that they're doing on Saturday nights. He's not going to do shit on that show anyway.
I hope he does, man. I really do, but I can't see it.
I can't trust Tony Khan as much as I trust Chicago politics. Hey, it is what it is. I call it the spade here on the Hoots podcast. Let's see what else on the roster. I know I've made my jokes about AEW, but they do have talented wrestlers. Like I like to see Hangman Page in WWE. I think he would do good stuff there. And that's probably it. Next question. Sam, how do you feel about college football playoff expansion?
I'm all about it. The more football, the better. The more opportunity for upset, the better. And obviously, it puts my Notre Dame Fighting Irish with a bigger chance to get into the playoffs every year. So, for the people crying about it, why? Well, what's so bad about more football? College football ends always too soon, in my opinion. And then, a week, two later, it's like, damn, I sure wish college football was on right now. So the more college football to watch, the better for me.
More college football. More reasons to not watch Chicago's baseball teams.
Yeah, no kidding. God.
All right, next question. What 30 for 30 doc would you like to see made air next? Oh, God. Double Doink has to be in this, right?
That's another reason you're going on the list. Come on. That's just, you don't need to bring that up, man. I'm having a great time. We're having a great day, a great show so far. Good grouping of questions from Chris and Rob. And you throw that garbage out into the ether.
All right, let's do a different one. How about that CLAHN Antonio Brown and his end of his career?
That's a good one. I like it. I'm all about that one.
Jeez. I love this show. All right, let's go to the next one before I get permanently added to the list of Derek. All right, last one here for Chris. He says, over the summer, who would you guys like to see in the undisputed title / world heavyweight title picture? Good question. To crap that one up. Okay. For the world title, pending if AJ does not beat Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, I would like to see him and Lashley and Sheamus go after the Tribal Chief. Also, on the other end, I would like to see maybe Ross has had a couple of run-ins with Balor. I don't know if you can make another long feud out of it. You just throw it out there just out of necessity.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed would be an interesting pick for me. And what we talked about earlier with Rob, Gunther is another pick for me. The Ring General would be a great world champion. You want to whine about Roman Reigns' world title reign? Just wait for Gunther's world title reign. You're gonna need like 4 Money in the Bank cashes just to get that off.
Hey man, go from one long reign to another. I'm in.
Yes. What about you, good brother?
I like your Sheamus pick. I feel like Sheamus has had an incredible last couple of years, and he's definitely not appreciated nearly enough. I mean, he got his flowers after the what was that match? Was that with Drew?
No, Gunther at Clash of the Castle. Yep.
Right. Yeah. He got his flowers after that. People finally realized how good Sheamus is. And what does Sheamus say? Banger.
After banger.
After
banger.
banger. He's good, man. I'd like to see him at least get a world title opportunity. Obviously, he's late in his career. But all the names you mentioned, those would all be fun. I'm trying to think of maybe one out of the ordinary. Yeah, Braun Breaker. I don't know.
He's doing some good stuff as a heel. How good all that.
Yeah.
I mentioned it before, jokingly. A-Town Don.
That'd be a good one. Yeah. I mean, Austin, dude, can you imagine if he wins a world title, the heat he's going to get? God.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful, man.
Oh, it's going to be great television. Good question, though.
Let ex-con Dom win Money in the Bank.
Now, I'm going to call Brother Carter and take you off the list for that one. That's a good one.
Thank you. And, of course, I'd be remiss without mentioning everybody's favorite. LA 9. You got to do it the Wade Barrett version.
Yeah. I'd love to see him win Money in the Bank. That'd be a fun Money in the Bank carrier.
I'm afraid I got some bad news. Come on. Wade, come back and get back in the ring.
I'm all about it. I love that. I loved this Bad News Barrett thing. That was so much fun.
I'm afraid I got some bad news. All of you people wishing that AEW will outdraw Monday Night Raw, not gonna happen, pal. Literally, if you think about it, if you combine Dynamite, Rampage, and whatever they draw from this stupid Collision show, they're gonna draw the same. No, not the same. Maybe 200,000 less than Raw does on its own accord.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just worried. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get into this, but I'm just worried about all the programming now that's going to be being put out from AEW, the quality of it. But, I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. The fact that we need Tony Schiavone on 2 shows already is bad enough as it is. Let's go to this next question here. Good friend and brother of the Hoots podcast, Bryan Snow. He posted this on Facebook. I saw this the other day. He said, "Who would I want as a color commentator for a world championship match?" Well, if it's not Kevin Kelly or Nigel McGuinness, it would be this man right here. This rat bastard right here.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So Sam would be my color commentator.
I'll take it.
Hell, drop in Brother Carter if he wants to. Unless he has to do it via satellite.
3-man announce booth, all for it.
Right. Brother Carter could be our Mike today, like he was in the WCW booth. All right, let's go to our last match of questions here for the good brother Mike at Main Event Swerve. Also, I heard Sam had some extra questions for the Q&A this week. So we'll get those as well. Yeah. All right. Mike says, it's good to be back to the back porch after a super busy week, but an awesome show for both of you last week. Thank you, brother. Here are some questions for this week. Number 1, you mentioned Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny as the ultimate celebrity heel versus babyface match. But let's have fun with this. When does it happen? How does it come together? And who wins at least the first match? Very good question. For those who are watching or listening, you could let us know who you would put over in this match. I know who I'm putting over. It's Logan Paul. If it's the first match, I'm going with Logan Paul. And for extra heat, I give Bad Bunny a GTS. Why not?
Yeah, I would definitely go with Logan. I feel like he's more polished, I guess would be the word. I don't really know how you would draw that up though. I mean, I'm not very creative. I don't know how you would even start that. Like Logan saying that he's the best celebrity, wrestler or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you can cut a promo or something. I was just thinking more of like how a lot of other WrestleMania matches are built. Somebody costs the person the Royal Rumble match. Think about that spot. It's like Logan Paul cost Bad Bunny for the Royal Rumble, and he wasn't even like an entrant, right? Let's say like he comes out like hoodie, mask, you can't see who it was. Like he eliminates Bad Bunny and then removes the mask. People will be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Just think about that if that happens.
That'd be fun for sure.
I'm not saying that I'm a creative person. It's just something off the top of my head. So
it's better than what I got. It's better than what I got. But I know for sure I definitely put Logan over.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like his next program, he's going to win it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Hey, some people thought maybe he could be a Money in the Bank winner. Who knows?
Oh, he'd carry that thing really well too.
Yes, he would. Get yourself some prime while you're at it too. All right, next question. What do you think of Seth Rollins in the new Captain America movie? Will we see a Marvel tie-in to WWE in some way? Unless it's gear, I'd probably say not. I'm not really sure. I am a fan of the Marvel universe. I wouldn't say like I'm a full-out geek and all into that, everything comic books, but I enjoy the movies. I enjoy the adventure stuff and stuff like that. And hey, good thing for Rollins if he wants to do movies. I saw some people like, oh, why is he going to Hollywood? Oh, this is gonna affect his push or whatever. Folks, stop letting Twitter cloud your judgment of what's going on. If you really think Seth Rollins' push is gonna be affected because he's doing movies, I think you need to be drug tested. Okay, he's gonna be fine. But as far as Marvel tie-ins, I mean, we already have Roman Reigns as Thanos, so like, what else other tie-in can we add in here?
Well, I actually am learning of this news live as we are recording this. I didn't know that. So good for Seth. I mean, that's big stuff. It could go a long way towards a movie career if that's the route he wants to pursue. But if people think it's going to ruin his push, they need to look at history. I mean, The Rock went to Hollywood. He was still huge when he came back, and John Cena, and it's not going to do anything. Seth Rollins is a professional wrestler, and I don't think he's ever going to fully commit to Hollywood. But that's just my guess. That we don't know anything for sure.
Next question here from Mike. He says, were you surprised when Edge lost despite doing that video about Big Gold and seeking the title? He never lost. That video threw me off thinking maybe he would win. Hey, man, that's the charm of professional wrestling. I think more wrestlers should do that. If you're not getting promoted as an advertised match or something like that going into your next following show, depending on whatever brand you're on, you should go on social media and talk about what's going on for you. That's like Xavier Woods was doing when he was having these big matches over the last few weeks or so. Like, he would cut promos and who he was facing or whatever. Do more of that. I mean, yeah, was I caught off guard? Yeah, but that's not a bad thing either. You know, we can't talk about predictability and then be thrown off when something out of the blue happens. So, I love the promo. And I wouldn't be surprised sooner or later Edge does get involved in one of those title pictures.
Well, the way I look at it is I was definitely thrown off. I thought after seeing that he would win. And honestly, that I think is the biggest plus of having social media and professional wrestling go hand in hand. About the only advantage that you can... That's the way social media should be used when it comes to professional wrestling. To further the unpredictability, I guess you could say, of an upcoming program or match. I thought it was awesome. It was a great promo. Edge always cuts a great promo, and I was definitely surprised AJ won, but I mean I wasn't mad at it at all. It just added to the fun for me.
I got his theme song stuck in my head right now. I've been defeated. I love that song. All right, let's go to the next question. Have you guys seen the Bears video on TikTok where Justin Fields takes viewers through a breathing exercise? Do we need more of that on TikTok? I say sure. Well, I by the way, if you want to see some of my guitar covers, I've been uploading a lot more recently. Go check out me on TikTok at Josh Lopez Music. But I know I'm not in depth of what goes on TikTok or whatever. But if that's something that is good, I know this is a big mental health awareness month, and I think breathing is another thing that people say helps people out with anxiety and they deal with mental health. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I haven't seen the video, Mike, to answer your question, but if that's something that's going on, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, people go about their business their own way. I'm not one to judge people on how they go about their mental health.
I have not seen the video myself, but it's definitely probably a good idea to do that if you're a Bears fan. Especially through these last few seasons, but
Yes.
but I might have to watch that myself.
Yes, I was about to say we need you to watch that before every game this season. I love the passion though during the game. Like Sam doesn't hold anything back during football games. It's tremendous.
Yeah, I used to before I was so prominent on Twitter. I used to post all that crap on my Facebook, and all my friends would get pissed off. And they'd say, "Make a Twitter account, man. We're tired of seeing it." I'm like, all right.
Tired of your crap.
Yeah. So,
we got the drill already.
so definitely, if you like angry Chicago sports fans, definitely give me a follow.
It's pure entertainment, guys. It really is. All right, next one. What do you think of Jacy Jayne beating Roxanne Perez in the NXT Women's Championship tournament? I forgot, was it a DQ or was it a regular win? I trying to remember how the match went.
Roxy won.
Oh, okay, so Roxy did win.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, for me, I was rooting for Jacy because I think she's underrated in what she does inside the ring and stuff. And she's the total package as a character, and her promos, the look, all of that. Again, good waterfalls. She makes the list. But besides all that stuff, like it was a toss-up match. I mean, people drool over Roxanne Perez and her wrestling skills. Her promo work is much to be desired. But I mean, I appreciate what she's done in Ring of Honor and her, her wrestling Twitter buzz, but she has a lot of work to do before she goes up to Raw or SmackDown. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. She just comes off very disingenuous when she speaks, especially for someone who's supposed to be a baby face. But what was your thoughts?
I'm right there with you. I think Roxy has a ton of potential, and I was going off a little bit on Twitter about this, but I think, like you said, she sounds like it's disingenuous would be probably the best word to use when she's talking. It just doesn't sound real. And whenever I think of Roxy now, I think of that segment backstage with Shawn Michaels asking to get back in the world title tournament or whatever, or trying to defend her title, and that segment made me want to vomit. And like I said, she's still super young. She still has a ton of opportunities and time to learn and get better, but her ring skills are great to me. But I was definitely rooting for Jacy. Jacy, like you said, she's got a lot of untapped potential. I just think she's really good. But Roxy got the win, so.
Right. But Jacy will get her shot sooner than later.
That feud with Gigi isn't over, so I'm not really mad that Roxy got the win there.
Yeah, they'll have some type of gimmick match at the Battleground show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see what the future holds for both of these ladies. Next question he says here: what one WWE draft pick has been the most impactful so far? It's too early for me to pick one, to be honest with you. We need a couple shows to pass by. Ask me that again, Mike, in like a month or two. I can't give you an answer to that right now.
I mean, you could say AJ because he hasn't really been. I mean, he's been injured, but he hasn't really been doing anything, and now he's just in the world title picture. I guess if I had to pick anyone, it'd probably be AJ.
Well, how about this? Mustafa Ali won the Battle Royal as a free agent.
It's true.
That's tremendous. Yep. All right, let's go to the next question here. He says, does Pat McAfee's new ESPN contract bring down his chances of being on Friday Night SmackDown again?
Yeah, it probably does. And you know what? That's really okay. Pat's dream or one of his childhood things was wrestling, but it's not his calling necessarily. So I mean, I'm sure he's still gonna make these appearances, but I don't think you'll be seeing him a ton doing commentary with Cole. I don't know. It could be wrong though. What do you think, Josh?
I hope that's not the case, but I kind of got that vibe when he decided just to like dip and do college football instead of going back to SmackDown last year. So, I mean, whoever floats his boat, he's gonna make it successful. I'm happy for the guy. Would I love to see him more on SmackDown, of course, but it's up to him. That's just what the deal is, and gotta respect it. He put himself in this position on his own accord, and he has his right to go about what he wants to do. I don't think that puts WWE in a bad light that he doesn't want to be there every single week, but hey, enjoy the time that we did have him every single week, and that he was invested to the point where he got himself a WrestleMania match, and one of the coolest moments of that particular show as well.
And honestly,
I was at Jerry World for that match, and that place was rocking for him. That whole stuff with Vince and Austin Theory.
well, the reason why Pat is so good, reason why people want him on SmackDown is because I feel like he got all the talent over. Like it's the job of the commentator to get the talent over, and he did such a good job of it. And it kind of like talent like that at the announce table hasn't really been seen in quite a while. So it was just kind of like a breath of fresh air kind of thing. So yeah, it does suck that he may not be around as much, but I still think you'll see him at the big shows or whatever. Maybe make an appearance at SummerSlam or whatever. Because even if he doesn't come back to the booth, he's a part of the WWE family now for good.
Right. Next question. This is about hockey. He says, we saw Sans Blackhawks #1 draft pick celebration video recently. So with that, what's the craziest video you have ever done or participated in? Ooh. I don't know. Is this good for airwaves or?
I had a whole. Well, it's still up. I have no access to the account, but I have a whole entire YouTube page dedicated to making jackass videos when we were younger. So I have so many. It'd be tough just to pick one. I've done a lot of stupid stuff on camera. That'd be tough. What you got any, Josh? While I try to think about this. No.
I have a couple of embarrassing ones. I think I did like the ALS ice bucket challenge thing. I had a couple. I did the video with a couple buddies of mine that I met through elementary school. God, that's crazy. That's almost 10 years ago. Thinking about that now. I don't know about crazy, but there is a video out there on WWE where I got to be part of a panel that was run by Howard Finkel. They were doing remember the old Google Hangouts?
Yeah.
WWE's doing that with fans, and I was at the school at the time, and I was like, hey, why not try to give this a shot? And I left one of my classes early to go back to my house to make sure I could participate in one of the hangouts. So that's a little story there.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I would say I ditched, but I left early without telling anybody. I was going to do this hangout thing.
They didn't give a fuck over there.
No, they didn't. Especially the what was it? The not the Lombard campus, the one that was by the train station, LaSalle. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, the one on State Street.
No, not on State Street. The one you go down a couple blocks. And it's kind of like this.
Oh yeah. Where the radio side was. Yeah.
Yes.
that random ass building.
Yeah, this studio building, a bunch of random shit in a school. Yeah. Good times, man. Good times. Just think about that. That's the midst of all the Hawks winning, and we got to see those parades in person. Yes. Good times. And What else? They're not video, but I have. If you guys go back in our channel, for those who subscribe, you can go back and listen to some of the old wrestling interviews that I did at the sports station, like my JR interviews, stuff like that. You can go check those out as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I can't pick one. So if you guys ever wanted to see my stupidity, you guys can go to the number 4 ever Cubs Rock on YouTube.
Yes.
And that's where I posted all that nonsense. I wish I had access to the account, but I do not. So.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Speaking of hockey, it seems like the Arizona Coyotes are moving from their state elsewhere. Where are they going? Houston, maybe?
I don't see a scenario in why Texas needs 2 hockey teams.
No.
I know Houston's like kind of the favorite right now, but why? I mean, I don't understand why Texas needs another hockey team.
I know the Rockets suck, but do they need more action at the Toyota Center?
Yeah, it's not really doing it for me. If they had to move anywhere, I'd probably say move to Quebec City or I don't know, Portland or maybe back to Atlanta or whatever.
What about we already have Seattle, right? The
Yep.
Kraken. Are they still alive or are they eliminated?
They lost Game 7 for the opportunity to advance to the Western Conference Final.
Seattle, you're
Get them out of there.
get them out of there. I don't know about any other cities. Just something that's not on the East Coast or in Texas. Okay, that'd be my guess. I mean, that's the last thing that we need is more Texas sports, Texas combo teams. What was it? They had the Texas Rangers, right? The Houston Astros. In the NBA, we got Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. Three basketball teams in Texas. Kind of ridiculous, if you're asking me. Is that a Miami t-shirt? What are you rocking there?
This is a Moe's softball. This was my 16-inch softball team a couple of years ago. Well, last year. Switched to regular baseball this year, but obviously I'm doing nothing right now. So
I dig the shirt, my man. Pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
Really quick on the finger end, what's your diagnosis? How much longer are you going to be out?
I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out of work, but I know I'm getting the pins out of my finger next week, so shouldn't have to wear this piece of crap much anymore. So we're heading in the right direction. Everything's healing good.
Making progress, brother. Love to see it.
Yes, sir.
All right, next question here. We're seeing the seeds of deception in the bloodline. Those are the ones that. So who do you think turns on each other, and what would you like to see happen? Well, I think the writing is on the wall, and I would not be surprised if the Usos cost the Tribal Chief and Solo their match at Night of Champions. And who knows, maybe you have Roman and Solo fight the Usos at Money in the Bank, something like that. You could do that. You can have Jimmy turn on Roman, you can have Jay revisit that angle. One way or another, this thing is gonna hit the shit's gonna hit the fan sooner or later. And who knows, maybe there's Samoans that we haven't seen pop up and join the group and replace the Usos. You never know. Maybe we get Jacob Fatu away from MLW and he finally shows up in WWE. You never know.
Isn't he being trained by Booker T?
No, that's Umaga's son. Zilla.
so
By the way,
many.
there's a lot of them. There is. Shout out to Zilla Fatu, who's Umaga's son. Seems like a pretty cool dude. He has his own YouTube channel. You should go check him out. Cool young lad, and cool that he's doing some training now for Booker T's ROW.
So I'm going to actually throw out a bold prediction that I mentioned last week, I think it was last week.
Okay.
I'm going to say Solo sides with the Usos after a while.
Wow.
Just because of that little tidbit that we noticed when Solo was going to spike Jay. And he said, "I'm your brother, not him." If I get it right, I'll call myself a genius. If not, I'm not going to mention it. But that's what I'll go with right now, just for the fun of it.
Don't pull a Meltzer on us now. Like report, oh, AEW's gonna announce that they're upfronts and they got $1 million deal, and then they'll say anything at all when it doesn't happen the next day.
I'm going Meltzer on you.
Oh, that's
If
brutal.
I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, nothing was said.
All right, last question here for Mike before we get to the extra questions Sam friends sent in. Okay, last one. Have you guys ever watched Shameless? That show about the wild adventures of the Gallagher family? If so, what do you think about it, and what light does it paint for Chicago in your eyes? I appreciate your answers and your honesty. Stay oozy, guys. Thank you, Mike, for the questions, brother. I was a watcher of Shameless when it was going on. It was one of the big shows my mom was into when I still was living at her apartment a few years back, at her house a few years back. But what's the name? Her name, Emmy. Was it Emmy Rossum? Is that her name? Whoever the chick that like the main chick in the show, she is fucking hot. I'm not even gonna call any face, but she is fucking hot. Like she's on another level hot. But I watched this show. You know, it's always cool to watch some Chicago certain stuff or shows that are like movies or stuff that was made in Chicago. Like for example, I rewatched The Last Dance on Netflix over the weekend. I got bored and just wanted to watch something. And to see the imagery of what Chicago was during the 90s and stuff like that, it's just cool. We had a question last week about the perception of Chicago, right? And how it's portrayed. And, we had that stupid CLAHN, Jason McIntyre, the inaugural winner of the CLAHN of the week, say that Chicago's a war zone. You watch a show like Shameless, it's not really that all the time. And, it was cool. I didn't watch the whole show, but I enjoyed what I saw. And again, shout out to Emmy Rossum. Very, very good waterfall.
I've never seen the show. I honestly, I'm not too in tune with what's on TV because I devote so much of my time watching sports and wrestling. So, I can't really say
what's the last show that you actually watched?
The last show that I sat down and watched weekly. Well, I will say I'm a big Law and Order SVU guy.
Okay.
Big fan. But I don't follow like episode by episode. I'll go on like Peacock and I'll sit down and watch, a couple episodes in a row or whatever.
Okay.
But the last show that I actually sat down and watched repeatedly week after week was Prison Break, and that was a long time ago.
I remember that show. I do.
Big fan of Prison Break. I actually would like to rewatch it. That's a hell of a show. And Blue Mountain State. I was a big fan of Blue Mountain State.
I remember that one too. That was a very good show.
Yeah.
I think with this is the situation I'm in. I'm not married or whatever. I've been living on my own at this apartment. It's opened my time to watch some stuff that maybe I wouldn't watch back then. Like, for example, I did not watch How I Met Your Mother while it was going on. I watched the whole thing here, and now it's one of my favorite shows of all time, And then, like, the New Girl show. By the way, shout out to Jake Johnson, who's a Chicago sports fan. He was on that show, New Girl, that was on Fox. That guy is freaking hilarious. Tremendous actor.
If you're looking for a good show to go back and watch, if you like action and whatnot and drama, watch 24.
Very good show.
Yes, sir.
24, very good show. All right, we got Mike's questions out of the way. We got the Snowman's question out of the way, and we got Chris's questions out of the way. Sam told me before we came on air today that some of his buddies sent in some questions. Let's see what we got here.
Yes, sir. I got a couple of questions here from my man Manny Galfo, and he says, will we see Randy back, and if so, how do you think it'll play out? I'm not so sure we'll see Randy back anymore.
I hope we do. In the case of scenario, he comes back, he has a few Riddle, right? And then maybe have a retirement match with him and Cena. That'd be my pick.
Yeah, I don't want him to be in danger if he does come back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he does, he has a couple more programs, whatever. That'd be cool. If not, I mean, Randy's had a hell of a career, and he's a Hall of Famer. So, it's really just a wait and see kind of thing. It's up to him, I'm sure, because I know his dad was interviewed or whatever, and told him that the doctors don't want him to come back or something. But we need to hear that from Randy before we hear it from anyone.
Yep.
So, next question's a little vulgar. I don't know if you've seen the stuff with Riddle lately.
What about the leak picture?
Yeah. So,
I didn't go out my way to look for it, obviously, but I've heard about it.
all right. So Manny says, "Why does Riddle have a horse cock?"
Oh god. Wrestling fans and their fascinations with cock sizes and shit. It's just, what it was Batista's or this dude's like, what are we doing here? Wow, a horse cock.
Horse cock. That is word for word what the question was.
I guess he is a stallion. I guess I don't know.
He didn't give himself that nickname for no reason, I guess, huh?
That's fucking crazy.
Anyway, I thought that was too funny not to say. His last question says, "What are your thoughts on a possibility of Rhea Ripley getting an IC championship at some point?"
I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
I think she could pull it off.
I definitely think she could pull it off.
Now, who's the Jeff Jarrett in the scenario? Since we
Right.
did this with him in China back in the day.
Yeah, that'd be the question. I could see that something like that happening with like LA Knight or something.
Possibly, I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would do it, but it's definitely something that they could visit down the line if they wanted to.
Elias, probably not. Maybe.
Yeah, but in what way does Elias get the IC championship? That's the way you got to think.
Right. He pretends to be Elrod. I don't know. I don't know at this point.
All right, that's all I got.
No, Rhea Ripley beats bum ass Corbin for the Intercontinental.
That I could definitely see.
Poor Corbin, man.
I love the guy.
On that note, that concludes our edition of the Backport Q&A session. I want to thank you guys so much for sending questions. Manny, Mike, Chris, and the Snowman. Appreciate you, good brothers. As always, if you want to participate in the Backport Q&A session, all you have to do is hit us up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into what happened this week in WWE, as Kurt Angle would say, WWE. We're about a week or so away from Night of Champions taking place in Saudi Arabia. Again, I'll give them points for having these pay-per-views, premium live events on a Saturday. So even with this being a Saturday afternoon ordeal, it's good on our end because we actually can enjoy our night next Saturday. So that's not too shabby, right?
No, I like these early pay-per-views. You wake up, you eat your breakfast, get in the shower, and then come noon or whatever it is, you turn on some WWE pay-per-view wrestling.
Yeah, just like Clash of the Castle was early on the Saturday. I remember that.
Yes, sir.
But we had a couple of matches announced. The Tribal Chief came back, obviously, on SmackDown this past Friday. I guess we should start with that. Man, when I say there's levels to this stuff, there's levels to this stuff. And there was two examples of this on both shows this week. I thought this was a very good week overall of television for both SmackDown and Raw this week. Having everybody stand right as Roman's music hits and seeing that entrance and how it goes down, the dude's on another level. Even before he speaks, people are acknowledging the guy. And then the other example I was going to use was how Cody Rhodes' promo went off on Raw this Monday, and to the point where everybody's standing on their feet clapping for the guy even before his promo ends, like a standing ovation.
I thought he fell off.
Right, what happened? I thought he was getting buried. I thought, hey, was he supposed to go back to AEW? And this is a whole bad investment. Oh, he's Lex Luger.
Oh God.
There's levels to this game, man. Look at that. It's not a 450 slash or Canadian destroyer off a ring apron through two tables on the floor. By the way, hope Dante Martin's doing better. It's not bleeding 5 seconds into a fucking match. Hi, Moxley. It's not. It's not wasting everybody's time with a 20-minute promo. Hello, Chris Jericho, the Jericho Appreciation Society. There's levels to this game. Look how that segment went off with the Bloodline. Everybody's like, oh, what's next for Roman and his world title? And everybody's like, oh, the Bloodline angle is getting stagnant. Where do they go from here? He's the king of pettiness, of gaslighting, of being a heel. Every, like, Tony Soprano, tribal guy, Roman Coliseum, like, leader type of guy, in any movie you ever watched in the past, he's doing that stuff.
I just love how as soon as people say that they've started to become stagnant, they delivered that absolutely money segment on SmackDown.
Every single time. Every single time. And, you know, it's the little things, how he walks around the Usos. And then, like, he's putting over Solo, like, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he's like, Kevin and Sammy are not the problem. Your brothers are the problem. And then, you know, he's like, he's messing with Jimmy. Hey, don't laugh. Don't look at him. And then he goes some petty stuff I was talking about, like, hey, unless the next word coming out of your mouth is I'm sorry, my tribal chief. And then he pie faces him. Jimmy's getting mad, and Jay has to calm him down. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, man. This dude is on another level. You understand why he's in the position he is. The power of the promo. Not only that, we go to Monday with Cody, where, okay, he starts talking about this story about the scorpion and the frog, and you think this could be some weird suffering succotash type of thing or whatever, but it lines up with everything that's going on with him and Brock Lesnar, and everybody's standing on their feet for the guy by the time the promo's over.
It's just a testament to Cody. I mean, he's doing such great work, and I mean, it's tough to come back from a loss like that at WrestleMania, where a lot of people thought, you know, you'd win or whatever. But when the crowd is hot for you, that's just the way it is. Cody had them in the palm of his hand. He's just good at that.
Right. And then ex-Condom.
The best.
What a national treasure. So Raw starts off with KO and Sammy in the Judgment Day, right? And Sammy's just baiting the crowd to just boo this dude out of the state, right? And it's just great. He's like, hey, I'm very curious to hear what Dominic has to say, right? And this is a I can't stop saying it. This is an important part I want people to like really recognize here, because this is stuff that's not addressed on Twitter or these dirt sheet shows that just try to find things to nitpick where it's not actually there. You can really tell who's really watching the shows and who are not. Not only by the stuff you read on Twitter, where the people who do shows like this. So look at this. They start off the promo, right? Finn's like, okay, hey, you know, you guys are going to struggle against the tribal chief and so is Sikoa. If you find a way to survive, you're going to have a lot of people going after them, right? And it said the line starts right there with the Judgment Day. Later on in the show, we find out, right, it's going to be them two against Finn and Priest in a non-title match. I'm seeing all these guys. Alvarez. By the way, we're going to get to that schmuck in a couple minutes, okay? Because this is not a good week to be a fan of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I'm just going to say that right now. I see this guy. I see other people like, oh, why are the Judgment Day doing the Bloodline's dirty work? And like, how does this make sense? And Why is Kevin and Sammy holding the SmackDown titles even though they're on Raw and all this other shit? You're not listening to the story that's going on here. Okay, so Finn says we want our shot, making their intentions clear, right? They're heels. They're gonna go all out in their own way to make sure they get their objective done. Rhea and Dom get ejected from ringside during the match. And all this tied in with the Wise Man. You see him backstage early in the show with the Judgment Day. You see him backstage with the Imperium. Watch the show. It's right in front of you, whether you want to choose to acknowledge it or not. To say something doesn't make sense when heels are doing their job in the first place, how does that not make sense?
How does it not make sense as well in the fact that they always talk about Paul Heyman pulling all the strings with management? So I mean, if Paul Heyman constantly pulls the strings, how does it not make sense for him to make a deal with these factions to help the bloodline in a way, you know, that Paul asked for? I don't see how it doesn't make sense.
Right. Just because the Bloodlines on SmackDown doesn't mean that WWE as a whole is not the entire island of relevancy or whatever the fuck they call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns pull the strings of what goes down or doesn't go down in WWE. Even the World Heavyweight Championship. Think about that. I saw Roman looking at him, looking at the title when he was coming up the stage. I'm like, to think that this dude is not going to have any say with a new world title going on in WWE just because he's on a different brand. That Roman Reigns does not care about your fucking brand split or the draft, okay? He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to listen to the brand split rules. It's his company. And he does what he wants on his terms. That's the role he's in right now.
Main event of Night of Champions. This match is now a triple threat.
It would make sense too. You would, hey, like Paul Heyman struck the deal with Adam Pearce. Hey, we got a triple threat match. I can see it happening.
Imagine the freaking heat.
And then you hear the Seth Rollins promo. Oh, we need a world championship that's not about politics. Oh, who do you think he's talking about? Right? And then you hear the cool sit-down interview that he did with Corey Graves, right? Hyping up that match. And they're teasing the thing where Seth Rollins is talking about Roman Reigns, even though he's fighting AJ Styles at the pay-per-view next week. The entire WWE, I heard Heyman say this before, the entire orbit of the WWE centers around Roman Reigns.
As it should.
Acknowledge him. Put the ones up, okay?
If you haven't put the ones up yet, you're wasting your opportunity because it's time.
You're not watching the show. You're really not. You're letting your fantasy booking and dirt sheet stuff cloud your judgment. Get your eyes fixed. Or take one good advice from CM Punk. Touch some grass.
That popped me. I'll say that when he said that. That was pretty good.
All right, so we talked about the big stuff that's going on. Any quick takeaways, good, bad, or different from WWE that stood out to you from either show this week?
No, I mean, I thought Graves did a really good job with the Seth Rollins stuff. I'm not always fond of his work, but that was some really good stuff. I know it's going to continue this Monday, right?
Yep.
Monday. So, I mean, I thought both Raw and SmackDown were fine. I probably enjoyed SmackDown a little bit more just because of the Bloodline segment.
Yeah.
All of their talking segments are always so damn good. Otherwise, nothing really out of the ordinary. A couple good matches. Obviously, the AJ win kind of threw me for a loop there. Thought Edge was going to get the win. But no, I mean, solid shows. Nothing to write home about, but I enjoyed it.
I was going to say, Kevin Patrick, my man. I don't know. Try to give the brother a shot, man. I'm not digging it so far.
Not a fan, huh?
I don't know, man. There's a curse going on with that Raw booth, man.
Yeah.
Like they can't figure out that booth, whether who they want or need in that play-by-play spot, and no matter who they bring in, either Grace and Shing on the guy have to show, and it gets to the point where you have to start muting the guys until the talking segments start.
Yeah, I don't hate Kevin Patrick at all.
I don't hate the guy, by the way.
I'm not too mad at his work or anything, but you don't really notice him, and I don't. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why they jumped Vic Joseph to put Kevin Patrick there. I thought they should have gave Vic that spot and given him a chance on Raw. I'm a big fan of Vic.
Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't been on there this entire time.
Yeah.
Just because Jerry Lawler brings people down does not mean that Vic had to lose his job.
Maybe they wanted to test him a little bit by putting him with Booker fucking T. I don't know. If he can handle being with Booker T, he should be fine on the main roster.
No bread, no water, just meat.
Shucky ducky, quack quack.
Sop her up with a biscuit. Got some funny lines. I'll give that, but there's other stuff. He's just bad, man.
I love the guy, but holy shit, I cannot stomach NXT commentary.
Even when there's a fast sequence going on, he's like, oh.
Yeah, it sounds like he's like trying to take a huge shit.
Right. I don't know if he's getting off or he needs to take a shit.
Oh, did you see that, Vic? My goodness.
That's to remind everybody 5 times during the match. Oh, you got to do what you got to do to win the match. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. That's another one.
God almighty.
What else I was gonna say? I like Becky's promo for Raw this week. Strict to the point. I think her and Trish are gonna do some good business, and there's gonna be a contract signing next week with Becky and Trish on Raw. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We talked about Jordan Devlin. Heel Trish is tremendous. Very, very nice. Great success, as Borat said. Great success. I love that movie. By the way, speaking of good movies, they finally uploaded the first version of Ted on Netflix. If you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it. I remember when that movie came out in theaters, I was a senior in high school, and that movie was awesome to watch in the theaters.
Definitely a fun movie.
Oh, God, that movie's a trip. All right, last couple things I was going to mention here for this segment. We talked about the Jordan Devlin stuff earlier. If he joins Judgment Day, I think that would be a good deal for him. And then there was a big bugaboo over the weekend because there's a match that's announced for SmackDown tomorrow, which is Street Profits against LA Knight and Rick Boogs. Guys, I get it. We all love LA Knight. I'm a fan of the guy. But I think a lot of people, especially on Twitter specifically, are going overboard about this dude. I'm not saying he's getting buried or held back. He's going to get his moment. Even if he's in a match, and it's the assumption shit that I talk about every week. One thing happens on a show doesn't mean it's going to be a permanent thing. It's not like him and Boogs are going to be like this long-running tag team. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe LA Knight attacks Rick Boogs after they lose the match tomorrow. You know, something like that. I get it. We want to see this guy get pushed like that, but it's going to come with time, man. I think a lot of people on Twitter are going overboard with this. LA Knight needs to be pushed now. It needs to be world champion now. It needs Money in the Bank now. Give the guy some time to fucking breathe. It's good that he's getting some TV time. It's better than being fucking catering. You know what I mean?
Especially with LA Knight, he makes the most of his TV time too. So I mean,
right?
He's not gonna. It's not gonna be for a lack of entertainment. He's still gonna go out there and do his job and probably make you laugh a little bit.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the stuff we're gonna talk about this week in WWE. Before we get to our main event segment, brother Sam, I wanted to tee this off to you because we haven't had a chance to talk about Chicago sports yet. Things went awry last night in Houston. Is there anything you want to get off your chest about your favorite baseball team?
You know what? I had a long day yesterday, right? I get home, I eat dinner, I turn on the Cubs game.
Right.
And boom, they're kicking some ass. It's 6-1. Finally gonna end this losing streak. I'm so damn tired. 8th inning comes around. All right, I'm going to bed. It's 6-1. They got it covered.
Right.
Wake up. Cubs lose 7-6. What the fuck are we doing here? I'm a big David Ross fan, but at what point is enough enough? The guy has made terrible decisions when it comes to the pitching staff this entire season. He's probably cost the team 6 to 7 losses at least just from his decision making.
Yes.
And he can't figure out how to make this team tick. They have talent on this team. Bellinger, what? Wisdom, what?
What?
I mean, Nico Horner, he's hurt right now, but he's
what?
Very good. Dansby Swanson.
What?
I mean, these guys, the Cubs are top half of the league in runs.
Right.
But that's from the first couple games of the season. They can't hit with runners in scoring position.
Nope.
And I've tried to come into this season with a thought process of, okay, it's the first big step into, what the Cubs want to be. But when they started off playing so well, it made you see what this team can be now. And they're not getting it done anymore. And I don't know if that's because of Ross. I know partially because of Ross, that's for sure. I don't know if these guys are thinking too much at the plate, but that's where the management has to come in. They need to figure this shit out. Because you can't lose a game that you're winning 6-1 in the 8th fucking inning.
Can't happen.
Chicago sports, Josh. That is fucking Chicago sports to a T. The White Sox, what? The Cubs, what?
What?
The Blues,
what?
The Hawks, the Bears.
What?
It
what?
never fucking ends. It is a circular motion. It is a merry-go-round of bullshit every single season. Fall, spring, summer, winter. It's the same shit. It never ends, and we're doomed to sit here in limbo for the rest of our fucking existence. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please somebody clip that. Hold, clip that for us, please. Oh, that's beautiful.
Killer, dude.
You know what you need to say next, right? We stinks.
We stinks, Josh. Get that shit patented.
Patent pending. Shout out to Barney Simpson. On that note, it's time for the main event. It's scheduled for one fall with the unlimited time limit. And if you're easily offended, that's a you problem, not a we problem. It's time for another edition for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. Let's start this bad boy off in a 3, a 2, a 1.
Beat your meat. 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 Beat your meat.
I'm telling you, my time is right now. Right this minute, 2022. We're living it. My time is now. My time is right goddamn now.
Man, what intensity.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW?
Aubrey Edwards.
It's definitely a good place to start, eh?
Oh, fuck me. Welcome, everybody, to another brand new edition of everybody's favorite segment in all of professional wrestling, The segment you need, a dose of reality, if you will, in the wrestling audio space, is otherwise known as What the Hell is Wrong with AEW, aka What Isn't Wrong with AEW. Let's take a look at that picture one more time here. You see these masquerade of outlaw Mudshow freaks and has-beens that need to go home and stay the fuck home. This right here, this collective picture is what the hell's wrong with AEW. I mean, where the fuck do we start?
Way, my man.
Let's take a look at this press release from yesterday that was announced at the Warner Upfront. By the way, didn't you notice there was a lot of conjecture and hyperbole going into this deal last week about, AEW's going to get announced for their extension and $1 billion TV rights deal and all this stuff, right? And CM Punk's going to show up at the Upfronts. CM Punk did not show up at the Upfronts.
Nope.
There wasn't an announcement of $1 billion.
Nope.
And AEW was not mentioned in the Upfronts into 40 minutes of Warner's presentation. I know Twitter likes to tell you that AEW is this Beelzebub, this bubbling promotion that's just about to explode and go to heights never seen before that WCW wish they could have. Stop falling for the bullshit. It's like telling a Chicago sports fan that we're going to have a sustainable franchise once we have a good streak of momentum going on, okay?
Yeah.
Stop falling for the bait, okay? So let's take a look at this. I'm going to put this in a screenshot. Just give me 1 second. All right, we got this here. Sam, you see this?
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's the logo here. Total Monday Night War Nitro Ripoff Jones here. So June 17th, write it down. That's the debut show on Saturday, 7 p.m. Central. If you live anywhere else, figure it out yourself. All right. You ready? Let's take a look at this. TNT launches the second night of professional wrestling with a new 10-pole series, AEW Collision, on Saturday, June 17th. It was announced today by Kathy Finch, Chairman and Chief Content Officer, U.S. Networks Group, Warner Bros. Discovery, during the company's 2023 Upfront presentation at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This live 2-hour in-ring show will air every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, featuring more wrestlers, more stories, that's a bunch of bullshit, and more action to super serve fans. AEW Collision. Who the fuck are we fooling here? Like, seriously. AEW, this is the best part here. AEW Collision will feature headliners, including Miro, what? Samoa Joe, what? Thunder Rosa, what? Powerhouse Hobbs, what? And how about this one? The guy that we haven't seen in 8 months, Andrade El Idolo. What? All right. Let's go down here to this bullshit here. We are doubling down on wrestling with AEW Collision, which gives fans 2 more hours every week, said Jason Sarnes, president of Turner Networks, ID and HLN linear and streaming networks. AEW's roster of talent has expanded so quickly that we felt it needed another night to bring our audience the epic rivalries, unforgettable matches, and stars they love to watch. Adding Collision to our programming mix on TNT will allow us to satisfy the massive demand we felt from our hardcore fan base and be the ultimate complement to AEW Dynamite on TBS.
Hold on a minute, though. Haven't they had that giant roster for about 3 years now? 4?
Yeah, what a bunch of bullshit. Hey, you guys remember that from Mr. Deeds, Adam Sandler, right?
Bullshit.
That's the ultimate line, especially a guy like myself that's been used by women that have no self-awareness. That's the ultimate throwback line there. Bullshit, you don't know what the fuck you want, bitch. Keep it moving. You and your fascination with a 42-year-old man is 8 years older than you. All right, we're getting off track here. Let's get out of here. Let's continue on here. But what I just read there, what a bunch of bullshit. Oh, how cute. You're going to cater to your hardcore fan base, which you've been doing this entire fucking time since the promotion started in the first place. How cute. How about the fans who are not drinking your Kool-Aid since day one? How about that one? Yeah. All right, let's hear what the super genius here has to say. Tony Khan. With the addition of AEW Collision on TNT, I am extremely proud that a Turner Network will be the home of Saturday Night Wrestling for the first time in more than 2 decades, said Tony Khan, CEO, GM, head of creative of AEW. The debut Collision is significant across numerous sectors, including television, writing, entertainment, and sports, and reinforces AEW as the bold property we envisioned when we launched in 2019. Collision will deliver every Saturday night more of what fans and viewers tell us they want. Athleticism, big personalities, exciting storylines, that's a bunch of bullshit, hard-hitting wrestling action, all of which have become synonymous with AEW. Okay. Before I have a brain aneurysm here, can you tell me that we just not lost IQ points with this press release that I just skimmed over here?
I definitely feel a little different after that one. I don't know if I become dumber after that, or I don't know. Oh, God.
It's brutal, man.
They're
delusional.
Ready, Tony. Get the cocaine ready.
You know what? I think I saw some South Park animation of the brawl out thing. Did you saw that?
I sent it to you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you sent me that. That's beautiful. So there's really not much to write home from last night's Dynamite, to be honest with you. It's really not worth going over every single segment. We had Officer Barb Brady doing backstage interviews. Renee Young is still hot. Stevie Wonder can figure that out. I mean, she's definitely one of the best parts of the TV show besides MJF each week, I'm just being honest. But outside of that, I mean, there was a couple matches I liked. We had surprisingly the Chris Jericho Roderick Strong Falls Count Anywhere match was pretty decent. I enjoyed it for what it was. The pitch was that the Adam Cole and the January 6th appreciators were banned from ringside during the match, but they go outside and Adam Cole is not banned for attacking Chris Jericho out of the arena. So I thought that was a nice, funny finish there, but it did not it didn't up the ante for my interest for their matchup at Double or Nothing. I could give 2 shits about that, to be honest with you, Sam. Yeah, I don't know, man. We said it last week. The effect of Jericho, it'll drain you down, man. It's just, I don't know what else to say about that. The show started off with a promo. I was really surprised by that because when's the last AEW show started off with a promo? It was Wardlow and Christian. They set up their match at Double or Nothing for the TNT title. Christian gave Wardlow a low blow. Dino Douche was out there to help out Christian Cage. I don't know, I can't take it seriously when you have Wardlow trying to be portrayed as a badass, but he gets beat up by Dino Douche. I can't take it seriously. Just can't. And then the other match I liked was Ricky Starks and Jay White. I almost forgot Jay White was still in AEW. But how about this? A feud that nobody's giving a shit about. And for a sign that was supposed to be this game changer, right? Jay White goes in and they have a DQ finish. Picture if that finish happened on Raw and SmackDown, people would be having hissy fits over it. Hissy fits.
Remember when Jay White first came in? Everyone, another game changer.
They're all game changers.
I haven't heard a goddamn thing, honestly. And I'm on the outside looking in, to be fair, but I mean, still, I pay attention to at least some of the stuff that happens, and I really don't hear much.
Well, here's my question for everybody that's watching and listening to this. When are you going to stop falling for the bill of goods that is AEW? Like, honestly, I want this to be good, but I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself that these douche canoes write this segment for us each and every single week. It's bad TV. This is worse than Dixie Carter run TNA. I'm being honest here. This is worse than TNA on Pop TV or Destination America. This is not good television.
It's hard to watch for me, man. When I do turn it on, I only last about 30 minutes. And my boy Rob, who sent us a question earlier, he's a big AEW guy, and he understands on my end why I don't get into it. And he's one of those guys that he's not going to sit there and shit on the product or nothing. And he's not going to disparage you for not liking it either. So, but that's the thing, though. There's no reason why we shouldn't like it, because they have all the talent, they have all the pieces. It's just not a good TV show, man. It's really not.
They get in their own way.
Yeah.
And this is what doesn't make sense to me, right? They're building up this 4-pillar match. So randomly they have Pockets and Darby Allin in a tag team beating up Lee. By the way, Lee Moriarty, get a new fucking theme song, please. I'm so sick of hearing it. I feel like my ears are bleeding every time I have to hear that fucking song. So we have
worse than Damage Control, though.
Nothing's worse than Damage Control. Nothing's worse than that. But seriously, like, so they have this match here, right? It's Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. They have nothing to do with each other, right? No interaction. They're not in the feud with each other. They have this random ass tag match with Lee Moriarty and Big Cass. Big Bill. What a stupid name, by the way. Big Bill. And then this is the AEW fascination where it makes me lose my sense of belief, right? That every time Orange Cassidy and Big Cass get into a ring with each other, Orange Cassidy is portrayed in the ring like this 7-foot guy, and Big Bill's portrayed like pocket size. Like, he does this knockoff Roman Reigns Superman punch. They call it the Orange Punch, right? That's his stick. And he does it to Big Bill, and Big Bill just falls off the apron, like, selling it to death. You're killing the guy's reputation. Every time you match these guys together, it's not helping the guy. So you have Lee Moriarty and Bill do a job to Pockets, because God forbid Pockets loses a wrestling match. And we have Darby Allin who has nothing involved. It makes no sense. And then we have Sammy Guevara cutting 3 different promos in one show. Who the fuck wants to listen to Sammy Guevara on any show?
Come on,
Make it make sense to me.
You're a big Sammy guy. I know it. I know it. You're hiding it.
I am not. 3 fucking promos. 3 different parts where I have to see this douchebag on my TV screen. Oh, because he tries to pretend to be a babyface on their All Access bullshit show. Like, I'm supposed to feel sorry for the guy now. Give me a break. And all we hear from MJF is nothing. All he does last night, dude, he slashed the microphone out of Renee's hands. Whoa, woo. Like, really? And then Jungle Boy nearly broke his neck last night by doing a stupid overhead belly-to-belly suplex off the apron in the match against Roosh. It was getting physical. I was getting into the match, and then they do stupid shit like that takes me out of the match, and it's like, get this feud over with. The 4 pillars is not the 4 pillars, and this 4-way feud has been completely and utter ass.
That's a shame, too, because all those guys have talent, but I honestly, I mean, I haven't caught a lot of the stuff, but I don't understand the point of it. Well, you mentioned that they aren't the pillars. Who do you think the pillars should be?
It's Cody, it's the Young Bucks, and it's Olivier. Much to my dismay, that's the 4 pillars of what this company was founded on.
That's fair.
And I'm saying that begrudgingly. I'm not a fan of the Elite. Speaking of the Elite, they're in this feud with the House of Torture USA edition. It's just a shame, man. Like, they got Wheeler Useless, a.k.a. Master Wato of the AEW, in this group. I can't take this seriously. You would think I'd be more interested in the group that has Bryan, Moxley, and Cesaro in it, but I don't. They look goofy when they do their backstage hit and run spots. They look stupid. They look like the House of Torture in New Japan. I don't wish that on anybody. They are a brutal faction. Brutal Bob Evans-esque bad. Okay? They're bad. And, okay, so he was the big announcer last night, right? At Double or Nothing, those two factions are fighting each other in an Anarchy in an arena match. So instead of Stadium Stampede, we have all 8 of these schmucks from these two different groups fighting each other all over the fucking arena for 30 minutes. Yeah. Just like they did last year with the January 6th Appreciators. Stupid. It makes no sense with the feud that's going on. Okay, think about this. The BCC's whole issue is that the Elite are cosplayers, amateur wrestlers. Like, they don't care about the merits of fighting and pro wrestling, right? So what do we get in return? An outlaw Mudshow match just so everybody can fucking bleed and fight each other all over the arena. It makes no fucking sense. I can understand blood and guts if you want to do that, but to have this fucking rip-off Stadium Stampede outlaw football fuckery bullshit, it's a waste of time. Let me do this Excrement impression before I lose my mind, okay?
Do it.
All right. I got 2 lists of matches to announce here, so bear with me here. Coming to you live on Rampage on TNT this Friday night. We got the Acclaim and Billy Gunn taking on the Varsity Athletes. On there, we have the AEW TBS Women's Championship Open Challenge. It's Jade Cargill taking on Danny B. From there, we have the Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy. They'll speak to the live audience coming out from Deletion. And our main event is the Blackpool Comic Club taking on Bandito and the Best Friends. More matches being announced on Twitter. Make sure to follow Tony Khan on Twitter at Tony Khan. And don't forget, coming up on May 28th on pay-per-view on Sunday, it's AEW Double or Nothing from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Right there, we have Jade Cargill putting her AEW TBS Championship on the line against Ty Valkyrie. There we have the Anarchy Arena match. It's the Blackpool Comic Club against the Elite in the returning of Hangman Adam Page. Right there, we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. It's Jamie Hayter taking on Toni Storm. A 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship. Right there, we have Christian Cage taking on Wardlow in a ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship. And from there, we have an AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It's FTR taking on the team of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Mark Briscoe serves as a special guest referee. In our main event, for the AEW World Championship, it's the Pillars 4-Way. It's MJF against Sammy Guevara. It's MJF, Sammy Guevara, and two.
So close.
Try number 3. MJF, Sammy Guevara. It's struck me. I have a lot in my mind for joke, but I can't spit it out. Okay. All right, I got it. It's MJF, Sammy Guevara, Two-Face Dipshit, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Darby Allin in our 4 Pillars main event. Get all your information at AEW.com and get all your tickets right now at AEWTX.com. That's AEWTX.com. Oh, fuck me.
I think you deserve a drink of water after that one.
Yeah.
Well,
not too shabby, right?
No, not too shabby. I don't know how he does it, man. He does it so freaking fast.
Oh my god, that's my workout for today.
No shit, that's a bunch of tongue twisters in there for you.
I had to throw in the Two-Face dipshit, man. I just had to because he is at this point. All right, Sam. Before we get to the clown of the week, because we have to wrap this up and talk about what everybody's talking about.
Yes. Let's get to it.
CM Punk. People can't stop talking about the guy. Well, not only was a lot of conjecture and scuttlebutt about what was going to go on with this new deal for AEW. They announced that Collision will be debuting on June 17th. Everybody and their mother knows that the show will probably take place at the United Center. A lot of people are expecting CM Punk to make his return there, try to do a rerun of what happened at the Rampage show when he made his AEW show, AEW debut, which we were there for that moment. And nothing really happened. What we got out of it was not an announcement of CM Punk's return. AEW decided to announce on Dynamite that they're holding on to next week to announce the location for this fucking Mudshow that's going to be taking place on Saturdays. And what we got out of CM Punk was this. Give me this one second. I got it right here. Look, everyone, Bryan Alvarez doesn't like it when misinformed internet trolls make up rumors about him. So please stop making up rumors and stories for clicks while Bryan makes up rumors and stories for clicks, okay? He's married, for God's sake. By God, that man has a family. Bryan Alvarez, shut the fuck up and stop talking about me. Challenge day 1. Number 2, this is a direct letter from Bryan Alvarez to David Bixenspan. By the way, Bixenspan is a two-faced dipshit as well, so let's continue on with this. But anyways, here's the letter he wrote. I feel stupid for even bothering to write this, but David Bixenspan is one of his moods, and I have been reading the stupidest shit the last 3 days. If you ever talk to Punk about this, and I doubt you will, and I doubt even more that he would give a fuck, please let him know that I do not, nor have I ever had any problem with him. It has been 4 years, and Big still believes that I hold a grudge against CM Punk because he was dating Maria Kanellis, for those who were wondering. The best part is that I am writing this on my anniversary weekend with my wife. I can only imagine the shit that will be written in another 4 years. So yeah, hope things are going well for you, and let me know if you need anything. Bryan Alvarez. Part number 3. Friendly reminder, I haven't been on TV in 9 months, and y'all still just can't stop talking about me. Maybe stop. You'll feel better. Love, hate, it's all the same. I don't enjoy being the sole person that props up the entire misinformed clickbait industry based on toxic gossip from lying sources. But what can you do? When you're the king, it comes with the crown.
So much douchery in just a couple of paragraphs.
Where do I start, man?
Oh, boy.
Look, of everybody, am here for any slander that takes place regarding Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, okay? I believe within my heart, and I've been saying this since day 1, since I've been doing this shit, all the way back to 2013, that these two schmucks are really the issue that's wrong with wrestling today and why it's at where it's at. And the discussion in the fandom and the way wrestling fans look at the industry today is really placated to what these two schmucks come out and say every week. I have no sympathy for them. I don't give two shits what they think. I don't have respect for them and how they carry themselves on air, how they interact with their fans on social media, how they act like their shit don't stink, how they act like they're the smartest person in the room, how they say one thing and then when it doesn't happen, they don't have the fucking balls to have any accountability for the shit they quote unquote report here. I don't have any respect for their attempts at journalism. I don't have any respect for how they play fucking politics and how they treat staff members and how it trickles down on every other wrestling website that's out there because they have to follow the same. Here's the shoot. I never told this before. Okay. So I've been in this industry for 10 years when it comes to writing articles and being part of wrestling sites, right? About a year or so ago, I got asked, hey, can you start like typing out some like podcasting quotes because it's the new fad now, right? Like instead of like coming up with some real news, now we have to take takes and opinions from podcasts and spin it as news now. That's the whole spiel. Now, my thing was I had to type out the quotes that the website wanted me to type out. I give it to them. I don't come up with the headlines. That's their deal. I got paid in it. So I had to like transcribe audio from different podcasts and things that I find interesting that people would want to talk about, right? And this is all going on during that time, the Brawl Out stuff that was going on, right? And all this other shit. And a lot of it had to do with Dave Meltzer. Comments from Jim Cornette. You know, every other day you see an article, right? Jim Cornette says this, Eric Bischoff says that, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of it has to do with Meltzer, right? And I started doing that. I get a message on Facebook from the guy who furloughed me saying that, hey, we need to lay off on the Meltzer content. Hey, I wonder why.
Get the fuck out of here. No way.
I'm in the liberty to say this because I've been out of a job since March, beginning of March. And I've been having to deal with this shit for the last year or so, and I really don't care at this point. And this is a shoot. I dealt with this stuff in the past at WrestleZone. I've dealt with this shit in the past night that I got furloughed and lost my job over something that was out of my control. This is how this echo chamber works. Okay? What feeds into that fucking shitty ass newsletter is permeated throughout every wrestling website that you read. I give exceptions. I think Fightful does a good job at times. I give credit where credit's due. I think at times Mike Johnson and PWI Insider do an okay job. But that's pretty much it as far as like who I would get credit for in this field. But the rest, copying, paste bullshit. Same articles on every site. Same coverage every other site. Unless it was me doing my own play-by-play articles. So you can see the difference in effort that I put into this shit. And then all of it is going back to like what's Shane Meltzer, because honestly, without that website, without the Observer, the sites that I was working for, they don't exist.
Probably a lot of these sites that you see, all these knockoff sites that you see probably wouldn't exist without these guys. Because their word is the gospel. Like you said, it's a copy and paste kind of thing.
Yeah, it's aggregation of made-up bullshit that CM Punk just said there. So I'm here for any Bryan Alvarez slander. I am, because the dude fucking deserves it, okay? Excuse me, he just does. I just think what's unfortunate about this is that my favorite wrestler, no matter what he does, always got to be involved in drama either that he puts on himself. I can be fair about this and say that CM Punk brings a lot of drama to himself, or it's just stuff that shouldn't matter at the end of the day. It shouldn't be happening in the first place. And here's the deal, man. Hate the guy, love the guy, or whatever, but I will say this. I'm glad for him that he's been going off the way he has about Alvarez and Meltzer over the last couple of months, especially Chris Jericho too, because Jericho has been a big Meltzer and a Zerber stooge for a very, very long time. And you can choose to acknowledge it. It's right in front of your face. I'm a person that acknowledges what I see. Not what people say, not what's gossip, not what the rumor innuendo. I go about how I see what's in front of me and what I hear. What I hear and see are two different things. Okay? And here's the deal. I could say anything, and you could choose to agree or disagree with me, but I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for Sam. I'm not speaking for Brother Carter. I don't speak for anybody but myself. You can hate all my opinions in wrestling, every single one of them, but I'm speaking genuinely from my own point of view. None of these schmucks have the balls to do so because that's the clout that they need. They need that external validation. I have to be right. I have these rumors. I got these sources that don't mean shit really at the end of the day. You probably got like the 30th most important writer backstage at WWE feeding you shit. He's probably going to get fired in 2 months and then you get to the next content. That's how this whole spiel works, guys. And I feel sorry for those who feel like they need to live and die by every single report that goes on when it comes to these dirt sheets. But whether or not CM Punk returns to AEW or not, I really don't give a shit. I really don't. And if it just to be petty, What would be funny if they have the first Collision show at the Now Arena, or they had the brawl out?
That would be funny. That would be funny. But back to your, I mean, I can't believe people pay for the newsletter and these subscription services that offer you inside information that others won't see. Like even the Fightful stuff. I mean, people pay for that too. I don't understand why you're watching wrestling if you're just paying to find out what's going on behind the scenes. Anyway, that's not the point of wrestling. I don't get it. I really don't.
You get what I was saying, though, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, we beg to ask you the question. You let us know on Twitter what the hell's wrong with AEW.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
All right. Before we say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun edition of the Hoots podcast as we usually do here. It's time for our second installment of a new segment here in the podcast at Hoots. It's called the CLAHN of the Week.
Yeah, silly CLAHN.
CLAHN. Sam, since this is your baby that you came up with, the floor is yours. Who is the CLAHN of the Week for this week?
Well, I've kind of been going back and forth lately. Obviously, you guys know my opinion on David Ross right now. He was a candidate, a nominee, if you will. But this week, the last day or two has kind of sealed the deal for me. And this might be a reoccurring CLAHN, as you may know. This week's CLAHN of the Week, the second official CLAHN of the week, is officially Bryan Alvarez. Congratulations, sir! How can you not go with this guy right now? He's just a total schmuck.
Too hard not to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He might be a reoccurring member. He might be a five-time. By the time this year is over, he might be a five-time CLAHN of the Week.
Hey, I already said it, man. Bryan Alvarez is already the dean of DSU, Dipshit University. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say the entire Wrestling Observer newsletter, but we'll give it to Bryan just for his bullshit.
I have an honorary nominee.
Do it. Let's hear it.
It's for everybody that's still saying that Cody Rhodes should have won at WrestleMania. My nomination goes out to Wrestling Twitter, and I'll let Stone Cold Steve Austin tell you why. This is Stone Cold. I'm busted open today.
Beautiful.
I really respect the hell out of Cody for what he did when he walked away from WWE and found himself, went down to AEW, and then came back or was hired back, however that works. And he gets injured, he blows out a pec, he competes in the Royal Rumble, and now he comes back and he gets in the main event with Roman. And I just think it was so storybook. It would have been so cliche to put the belt on him, more so than that really. Has he earned the opportunity to be there? Yeah, but would he have been the right guy right now trying to take out Roman Reigns? And I just think not. Roman is so on fire and is so money right now. Cody's going to be there. The fans. I thought it made me respect Cody more. When you're laying down there looking at the lights, and that, hey man, that story is going to be completed one of these days, but it ain't going to be right here. And it was for the right reasons, and the reasons was business.
Stone Cold is the man.
What else needs to be said?
Yeah, it didn't hurt him at all. It really didn't.
Yeah, listen to the crowd. They're still popping for the dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, we try to just keep it 100 here, but you hear from one of the greatest of all time right there. I don't know what else to say, man.
Yeah.
But Sam, another fun episode in the books, man. You had a good time?
Oh, man, I always have a good time shooting the shit with you, talking wrestling, talking sports, whatever it may be. It's been a light during a rough time. I'm happy to be here.
Brother, man, I appreciate you more than you know. Let everybody know what's going on with you in social media, with anything you got you want to plug, my man.
Second City Sam on Twitter. Follow me or friend me on Facebook. I got Instagram. I don't really do too much on there. I started a YouTube channel. I do a couple of short videos every day and do like my thoughts in 60 seconds. So you can check that out too at Second City Sam on YouTube. And that's really about it, man. I'd like to thank you for having me on once again.
Yes, anytime, my man. Make sure to follow yours truly at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Josh Lopez Media. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Also, make sure to check out our stuff on Spotify. That really helps expand the reach of the show. If you have any thoughts, negative, positive, and constructive criticism for the show, just let us know. I'm always open to ears. Even though we've been doing this show for 7 years, doesn't mean we can't improve on stuff. We appreciate those who do take the time and check out the show. I want to thank everybody who participated in the Back Porch Q&A session. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good questions this week. Always have a blast here shooting the shit on these microphones with the good brother here. So we hope you guys enjoyed the pod this week. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is your stuff. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. Love you guys. For Sam, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 361 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll be here next week to make our predictions for the Night of Champions. No. Shout out to Brother Carter. We'll talk to y'all next week. Yes, sir.